More Perfect Union wants you to believe politics is getting beautifully weird in a way that can be solved by finding the right mix of vibes, hats, and affordability slogans. And that framing is doing a lot of work. The Trump to Mamdani story is real, but the function of this piece is to turn a structural crisis into a personality-driven realignment narrative, where the problem is confusion in the electorate instead of the design of the economy. They keep circling this 1 in 10 number like it's a magic key, when the key is simpler and uglier. People are being crushed by rent, food prices, medical bills, and dead-end wages. And they'll grab any brand that sounds like it's going to hit the cost of living. The most revealing moment isn't the MAGA for Mamdani hat. It's the flooded kitchen and the landlord ignoring him until a politician's office forces an inspector to show up. That's the actual state of class power in the city. Landlords and fines and heat and repairs. And it's not an anomaly. It's the normal operating system. And notice what gets smoothed over when the story becomes outsider versus establishment. Trump is not an outsider to capital. He is capital's loudest aesthetic, and he governs like it, bailing out who matters, funding empire abroad, and telling working people to fight each other at home. Mamdani becomes the hope vehicle because he touched a material lever in one person's life, not because voters suddenly transcended ideology. And the foreign policy detour is the tell. Because when every candidate reflexively says Israel, that's not individual preference, that's an empire script. The video nods at it, but keeps the focus on quirky coalition building, because naming the machinery behind that script would force the real conclusion. Both parties are disciplined by donors, developers, landlords, finance, and the foreign policy consensus. And affordability is the word you use when you're not allowed to say redistribution, decommodification, and confrontation with property. So I'm not impressed by the novelty of a voter who can swing from Trump to a socialist. I'm interested in what it proves. Class pain cuts through partisan branding, and the ruling class responds by rebranding the same order and policing what kinds of solutions are thinkable. The task now is to organize tenants, labor, and immigrant communities to force rent control enforcement, public housing expansion, wage gains, and universal services, and to build power independent of parties and personalities.